Good afternoon, and thank you to the many who are joining this live stream from Convocation Hall today for this important announcement in the history of our great university. As we gather here today, I acknowledge that I am speaking on Treaty 6 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to our First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationships with one another. We're in a time when our university is leading significant change and playing an increasingly important role in the province and in the country and beyond. Excellent leadership at all levels of this university is critical to our success and to the future of the province and to the future of Canada. It's also crucial to the success of our students, our faculty, our staff, and our alumni. Leadership will determine how well we succeed in our mission to advance the aspirations of the people of this province and in our vision to contribute to a sustainable future. It will determine how we live our values of diversity, equality, and human dignity, of commitment to community, of reconciliation, and of excellence. And it will do all this at a time when we are embracing change together in order to meet the challenges we have set out for ourselves and to be the university the world needs. I was proud to announce recently the appointment of Dr. Baljit Singh as our new Vice President Research, and I now am proud to announce our new Provost and Vice President Academic. The Provost and Vice President Academic position is critical to us achieving our strategic directions and our academic priorities. It provides leadership to a wide range of senior administrative positions across the university, including deans and executive directors of 17 colleges and schools, and heads of other major senior administrative units. The position also provides leadership to a diverse academic community of more than 60 department heads, 1,000 faculty members, and professional and administrative staff across the university. And because the Provost and Vice President Academic leads the university's academic mission, the person in the role must be an exceptional scholar and leader who appreciates and encourages innovation in all of its forms. The search committee, tasked with the tall order of recommending the person best suited for this role, began its work last spring. And I want to just tell you who the members of that search committee were. Jamie Bell and Candace Klein, undergraduate and graduate students respectively. Professors Keith Willoughby, Loline Birdall, Bonita Beatty, Donna Goodridge, and Jaswant Singh, they were council appointments. Greg Fowler and Chelsea Wilness, my appointments. Kelly Moore from our Senate, Grant Devine from our board, and Liz Durrett and Kelly McGuinness from HR acted in a consultative role regarding equity, diversity, and inclusion considerations. I thank all members of the search committee for their commitment to this very intense and important process. It was a privilege for me to be able to work with all of you. As is typical for searches at this level, the committee extended its reach throughout Canada and internationally. It worked hard throughout the summer and early fall and ultimately made a unanimous and enthusiastic recommendation that I then transmitted to the Board of Governors for its approval, that Dr. Airini be our next Provost and Vice President Academic. She will begin her work in the role on February 1st of 2021. As happens in some Indigenous societies, Dr. Airini has one name only. She received her BA in Religious Studies and a Master's of Education from the University of Canterbury in New Zealand, an MBA from Massey University there, and a PhD in Curriculum and Instruction from the University of British Columbia. She then held a variety of posts at the University of Auckland's Faculty of Education, at New Zealand's highest-ranked research university and ranked 88th in the world. Her roles included head of the Interdisciplinary School of Critical Studies in Education, Associate Dean of Equity, and advisor to governments. She has been a member of the British Columbia Ministries of Education and Advanced Education's think tank for personalized learning in graduation year, and was commissioned by the New Zealand Ministry of Women's Affairs to provide policy leadership on women's graduate outcomes. She was the only education specialist invited by New Zealand's Children's Commissioner to join the expert advisory group for actions to overcome child poverty in that country. A Fulbright Scholar in 2014 at Howard University in Washington, D.C., Dr. Airini examined how education policy can change results for underserved students in higher education. She's a highly accomplished education researcher, and her current research explores how education can help build a more equitable society. Her award-winning research and development initiatives in Canada and internationally have directly shaped universities and 21st century education systems to close achievement gaps at the K-12 and at the post-secondary levels. Dr. Airini is the author or co-author of more than 100 research articles, books, and reviewed papers and reports. Her graduate thesis supervisions are notable for developing new researchers from underserved populations. She holds professorships in 3 countries, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. She has worked for UNESCO in the Pacific region and currently advises the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Dr. Airini co-led the creation of research spanning 5 countries, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, and the United States, on students who are first in their family to enroll in university. Based on work with university students from more than 30 First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities, Dr. Airini has also researched how universities can help Indigenous students to succeed as Indigenous researchers. This, the Knowledge Makers program, has trained 62 Indigenous researchers and produced 85 published, reviewed journal articles. Dr. Airini has been the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Social Work at Thompson Rivers University since 2014, a university that specializes in virtual learning and is internationally recognized for its environmental sustainability initiatives. While there, she has led the university's work delivering on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. She was welcomed earlier this morning to this land by First Nations and Métis elders and to this university, and was gifted to us by her Thompson Rivers University Cultural Advisor, Gary Gottfredson, who spoke to her great strength and her great leadership qualities. I thank the many at Thompson Rivers University who will miss her leadership there, but please know that it will be valued and will have influence and impact here for so many people. I would also like to point out that Dr. Airini is one of only 40 people selected from around the world to race the Yukon 1000, the world's longest canoe race from Whitehorse to Alaska, paddling 1,000 miles in 9 days or less on the Yukon River, not as challenging perhaps as helping lead a university, but a good qualification for the work ahead. Before I turn the proceedings over to Dr. Airini, I want to acknowledge the wonderful work Dr. Melissa Just has done in the interim role of Provost and Vice President Academic. She has been superb. I have benefited enormously from working closely with her, as have my colleagues on the President's Executive Committee, Dean's Council, and indeed the entire university. She has brought indefatigable energy and enthusiasm to the role and clear thinking at the strategic, interpersonal, and financial levels. We are indebted to her agreeing to take on the interim role as she did without hesitation, and in continuing to serve in it until Dr. Airini begins on February 1st. It is now my great pleasure to ask our next Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Airini, to speak to all of us.
Danse ga kio ni Airini ni sigason tanishi anin hello, bonjour tout le monde. And in my Samoan ancestral language, ta'alo falava, whawhatai te le lava mo le awanoa. And in the language of the land where I was born, Aotearoa, where I was gifted my name, tēnā koutou katoa, tēnei te mihi nui kia koutou, kua tai mai e tēnei rā. Thank you, President Stoichev, for your words of welcome and the acknowledgement of territory and homeland and our relationships with one another. To stand here in Convocation Hall is about being here together with you, with humility and boldness. It's humbling because of being here on the lands of First Peoples, here also now within a building that was requested 110 years or so ago by the then Dean of Agriculture, W.J. Rutherford, to be a meeting place for farmers, students, community, and then later the cultural centre of this university. To be here where the university has witnessed history makers. How natural it is that this university should be a place of history making. How true this is through to today. This is humbling for me to now be here and to be invited into this history, in this making and remaking, and to be entrusted with responsibility. This is a place to be respected. This university is a place of leadership with humility and respect. And being here has this feeling, perhaps an energy, of a university intent on being bold. I read this in the university's 2025 plan. To be the university the world needs is a bold ambition, transformative decolonisation leading to reconciliation, productive collaboration, meaningful impact, distinguished learners, global recognition. And I thought, that sounds like a university intent on being all that it is called to be. That's a university where I too would serve if called. I'm sincerely grateful to the Board of Governors, President Stoichev, and the Search Committee for appointing me to the role of Provost and Vice President Academic here at the University of Saskatchewan, one of Canada's top research universities, and also as Professor in the College of Education with a joint appointment to the Department of Curriculum Studies and Department of Educational Foundations. I am grateful to the elders and knowledge keepers. I feel so honoured to have been appointed and called to serve this remarkable university. Thank you. This move is possible thanks to the great support of my husband, Brandon Rakuera Williams, my family, his family, our friends, and university colleagues near and far. Brandon and I are a team. We've lived in smaller towns and lived in larger cities. We're drawn to cities that, like Saskatoon, have that Goldilocks factor of being just the right size. And we really look forward to making a home here in Saskatoon in the coming year and being enthusiastic community members. I anticipate an important learning and relationship building curve, getting to know the university along with its relationship with the city and province and First Peoples. I would really welcome your help with this learning. Meeting you matters. I'm looking forward to meeting students, academics, staff, and leaders across the University of Saskatchewan and community members more widely, and connecting with many of the alumni family of more than 160,000 passionate leaders, entrepreneurs, philanthropists, educators, researchers, and professionals from across disciplines and the university's 200+ programs and across the university's 6 signature research areas, connecting with these alumni who contribute to communities around the world. The University of Saskatchewan is a university of high value and impact. These connections confirm that value. As President Stoichev has said, to be a university for the future, it is incumbent upon us to stay connected to the communities we serve, locally and globally, to contribute to them, and in so doing, to be the university the world needs. Just as one example of so many possible examples was last week's announcement of the University of Saskatchewan's Edwards School of Business officially unveiling the Gordon Rawlinson Finance and Trading Room. These 16 state-of-the-art terminals provide practical experience that students find incredibly valuable, being able to gain skills so relevant as new graduates in the workforce. Your voice matters. As we get to know one another through individual and group meetings, within and beyond the university, please know that your guidance, support, and encouragement are vitally important. All universities are experiencing the headwinds of change to do with technology and how we learn, how we teach, how we learn, to do with successful graduate outcomes for all, to do with equity, diversity and inclusion, facilities and research, revenue and expenditure, and determining what will be the positive legacy and courageous learning from these, our exceptional COVID-19 times. Together, we will ensure the university's academic strategy, investment and outcomes see this university through the headwinds. Together, we will make sure that future generations inherit a university that is as strong and stronger. Some years ago, I came from the Canterbury Plains in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to Canada as a PhD student. I came with the memory of standing in Ernst Lord Rutherford's den in my hometown of Christchurch. These were small rooms in a wannabe Harry Potter-styled stone building on flat lands at the edge of the world. And this was where Rutherford, the father of nuclear physics, studied. I came here to Canada aware of the genuine potential when science, creativity, academic endeavour, teaching and research combine in good ways. I came aware that we are all stronger when culture, language, identity, diversity are truly welcome within the university and are meaningfully present in curriculum, policy, practices, recruitment, and promotion. And I have come to know and to love how we in universities have the ability and the responsibility to serve the world by addressing the greatest challenges and opportunities and by fostering our future leaders. This is what is so compelling and bold about the University of Saskatchewan's vision, led by President Stoichev, to be together here with respect, to weave together disciplines and academic goals, to work together with courage for Saskatchewan and from Saskatchewan to be the university the world needs. No other research-intensive medical doctoral university in Canada has the array of colleges and interdisciplinary schools that is the University of Saskatchewan. None has the unique scientific infrastructure that is here, or the unique signature areas through which the members of this university are having global influence. The University of Saskatchewan has an unparalleled breadth of expertise in its professional colleges, social sciences disciplines, humanities and fine arts departments, and fundamental and applied sciences groups. The university is uniquely strengthened by elders, knowledge keepers, and being here with respect. Standing here in Convocation Hall is indeed about being here with you together. Together, humble and bold. I thank again President Stoichev, the Selection Committee and the Board of Governors, and I so look forward to beginning on February the 1st, 2021. Please be well, everyone. Thank you very much. Hai hai.
Thank you, Dr. Airini, for your extraordinarily inspirational words. I'm delighted that we were able to get together in, if an empty, Convocation Hall to continue the tradition of making these major announcements right here. This ends the formal announcement of Dr. Airini as our new Provost and Vice President Academic. I do look forward very much to her beginning in the role on February the 1st. I thank her for her commitment to this great university, and you heard what she had to say about it. And I wish all of you joining this live stream event the very best of health and fulfillment during this challenging time. Good afternoon, everyone.